tied my hair up.
Yes,
before I started crawling.
Whenever you crawl, tie your hair up. That's what I do. All right, welcome to 40 Fit Fu. My name is Oscar, this is Mimi, and we are here. Why are we here?
We are here every Tuesday around 7:45 to help give you fitness tips and advice on how you can maintain health and just a little bit of extra, advice on how you can do Kung Fu or Tai Chi better after you're 40.
Well said.
Crawling got to my brain, the blood flowing in that bear crawl was
well said.
intense.
So we're talking about crawling and why it's something that you can add to your training to help benefit your Kung Fu and your overall fitness practice. So a few years ago, this is a lot of credit due to these original strength guys, Tim Anderson, who they made a whole program from this and kind of made it more popular. But we figured out quickly that it was a great way to do a gentle warm up, right? Like you would ask, hey, what's a good warm up to do? I was like, just have them crawl for a couple minutes.
Yeah, so for me, we've always been talking about the over 40 and up, and actually I think into my late 30s is when I really started to feel like, wow, okay, I'd always do my joint warm-ups and everything, but then my body wouldn't actually like break that little sweat or just kind of feel that warmth to jump right into even biped Tsao or some of the stretches that we do because it's pretty immediate. And even running, like we'll just kind of do a light jog to kind of just loosen everything up, but running I think is even often too high impact for many of us. And
if you're sitting down all day.
Yeah, so I actually don't think running is really the best thing. So I've actually started most of my classes sometimes, especially if it's cold out, because in the temple we don't have AC or heat. And so if it's a little cooler, I think it's just the most efficient and effective way for getting that body to just feel that warmth. You can give us all the science behind it, but we basically do the different variations of it, and I think it's been really effective.
So we're not going to get too sciencey, but just think of your body like an X, right? And at the center of your X is what we call, quote unquote, the core, right? Around the area of the belly button, right below the belly button, which is also known in Chinese martial arts as Dantian, right? Your center. It's that area, right? So your body is an X. If you think back to our, they call it the neurodevelopmental sequence, of basically how we developed as children. We start off, after we're born, on our back. Then our eyes are moving like crazy. Then the head's moving. Then eventually, get the arms and legs moving, and we get to rolling over, and we start being able to practice rolling over. And this is us developing our strength as babies. And eventually we get to be on our hands and knees. We start rocking, our head starts doing some nodding back and forth, and then we start crawling. And from crawling is where we really develop our strength. So, if you take all that into account, neurodevelopmental sequence, our body as an X, the reason why crawling is such a great warm-up is because you're using that X and you're tying it together, you're knitting it together. If you're spending the whole day sitting down, and if you're a little bit older, we've kind of forgotten how to do that. And it's a gentle way to kind of, reset your, there's a system in the body called the vestibular system, which is your balance system. It's a good way to reset that. If you're not able to crawl well, chances are that you're probably not able to walk and run well. So it's a way to kind of reset your body to do that. The act of crawling, hands and feet touching the ground, you get some sensory input going from your feet through your body, from your hands to your body, all crossing that X, crossing the midline. You're turning on what's called your reflexive core strength, meaning that you don't have to brace your abs. All you have to do is, if you're starting here on your hands and knees, and I say, all right, Mimi, I just want you to lift your knees up just an inch, not even off the floor, and start crawling, I don't have to tell her to contract her midsection. It's happening just by the gentle forces she's putting into the ground. And so you're resetting that balance system, you're turning on your reflexive core, and all of that then will translate to you being able to generate a lot of power through your center, which is what all martial artists need: punching, kicking, all that. And it's a great, really, not only a great way to do a warm up, but a great way to build strength and endurance. And then that translates to you doing things like kung fu eventually. Boom, bam, right? Because think about it. When you're punching, we're not asking you to brace here, but what ends up happening is power is generated through the floor. It crosses our X at some point, transmitted through our center, and then is expressed somewhere else. And so crawling is just a very easy to learn, gentle way to warm up, to turn on all those things. And
yeah, so let's just go over like 2 or 3 basic crawling.
Okay, so here's the thing. If you are 40 years or older, the only concern that I have with crawling right off the bat with the knees up is maybe your wrists aren't able to support you because they don't have the ability to do that. So look back at some of our wrist mobility stuff. The other issue with just crawling like this, again, if you're over 40, could be the pressure of having your knees on the floor. You just may not be ready for that. So those are 2 things to take into account. This is called baby crawling. Think of Sweet Pea from Popeyes, right? When it's time to do, now there's a ton of different ways. Bear crawl, they call it all different kinds. Because we teach this to our Kung Fu kids, we just came up with animal names to mimic it. So we call, when you baby crawling, you're on your knees. When you lift your knees up, we call it leopard crawling or tiger crawling, right? And you see she's trying to keep her back flat. And then we also like panda crawling, which is what you saw me doing at the beginning. This is like, we call it panda bear again because of our Kung Fu stuff, but it's basically a stiff leg, stiff arm walk. So you're getting a little bit more of like hamstring flexibility and calf mobility there. And don't be even afraid to flip that over and do crab crawling as well, so that you're on your back. The really cool thing is that you're crossing your center, right? You've got your X. Opposite limbs are moving, contralateral, which is the way that we are meant to walk, right? And there's a lot of good things happening behind the scenes. The last thing I'll say is that when you're crawling, the way that I like to do it is when the limbs lift, that's the inhale, and when they land, exhale, and you want to move with that intention. I sometimes like tell my clients, there you are, the leopard in the jungle hunting its prey.
And faster isn't better.
Faster is definitely not better. I think it's better for you to go slowly with put yourself in the mind of like and try to act like an animal, like a wild cat.
Like a lion about to pounce.
And you can even make it harder by literally having heel to fingertip, fingertip to heel come up off the ground.
Right, even maybe holding before you actually do the placement.
Yeah.
So when you're in the opposite, we're holding before we place down. So
just shows more control.
yes, and it'll be a quicker warm up as well. So anything that you're kind of putting your body through a little bit more feedback and a little bit more strain, or a little harder work, is going to warm you up really fast. So
if your joints can handle it, literally just set a timer for 2 minutes and just crawl. With good form for 2 minutes straight, you'll be warmed up. If you're not doing it correctly. You're being lazy. I doubt it. I think even if you do it wrong for 2 minutes straight,
it's hard. Give it a try. Give it a try.
2 minutes minimum.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for today. I think we just want you to crawl. So next time you have to get off the couch to go to the kitchen, crawl. Let us know how that goes.
We've done that before. Sometimes you may see us just crawling around the house. It's very strange over in this household, but it happens. Definitely happens.
So when I get my workout in, I'm like, well, at least I crawled today, So it is quick, effective, and it's pretty good in terms of if I'm not warmed up or something, it's a little lower on the I'm going to injure myself right away versus like jumping right into straight leg kicks or something crazy, right? So baby crawl, Sweet Pea, still.
If you can't do it perfectly, and this should be how you do everything, then take a step back and regress the movement until you are practicing it perfectly, and that will actually be you kind of allow you to springboard forward. If you try to make yourself more advanced than you really are, you're
like doing that Spider-Man crawl.
Or like if you look up Ido Portal,
those
lizards.
I didn't try to.
Just start with the baby crawl. Start with the baby crawl first.
Show us your Sweet Pea. So let us know if you're enjoying these posts, if you have any questions, if you tried crawling to your kitchen from your living room and how that went for you. We'd love to hear from you guys. We are coming on the end of the year. check last week's episode for our inspirational talk on not giving up because the holidays are here. And so crawling can be part of that agenda. At least, you know, something's better than nothing. So thanks for tuning in.
I'm going to crawl to turn this off.
All right, so every Tuesday at 7:45-ish, we will see you here. 4C Fit Fu. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Right.